Ngilibala njani madoda nezizo microphones kodwa ngithanda xa nikhona ngikhomukhela le nto bezithetha ningaqangani ngokho so siya-appreciate uba nibe khona nizohambisa le vangeli yentsango kakuhle ngohlobo abantu baseMpuma Koloni kakhulu owathamba bazobe beyithetha ngawo namhlanje. Kuthiwa ke yayisetyenziswa namaphepha ngela xesha, the Cape Times newspaper until around 1898. Although brought into the pharmacy laws poison schedules in 1905, its regulation through medical professionals was contested by politicians representing cannabis growing constituencies. Pharmacists were accused of setting dramatically reduced wholesale prices and profiting from their monopoly. For some, it became a roaring non-medicinal trade. So in Nyani, so unafika kweza Western pharmacies, amayeza amaninzi esixhomekeke kuwo enziwe ngale ntsango engafuna thina sithethe nayo engafuni ukuyivula esemthethweni. That cannabis is medicinal is historical fact, but it has deliberately been clogged. After unification, Cape physicians, police, government officials, and wine farmers cooperated to lobby for more stringent controls. They claimed it was a substance that diminished the work ethic of agricultural laborers, increased crime, and encouraged sex across color lines. So then a year after the national law was passed, the government under Prime Minister Jan Smuts approached the League of Nations Dangerous Drugs Committees, requesting that cannabis be included with the same registers as opium, morphine, and cocaine. 2 years later, cannabis was placed within international drug protocols. As other scholars have observed, racist public panics around cannabis in the early 1920s helped to push prohibition through Parliament in 1923. Yet these have been ongoing from earlier in the century for a variety of reasons. It suited the smart government to respond that year. Contestations with the white colonial government are important, or within, are important to note because they proved consequential in the social and political effects of cannabis suppression into the 20th century. Those against the new law were offered an informal compromise. So compromise native affairs department administrators were assured that although the new law empowered authorities to police urban workplaces and white residential zones, it would avoid drastic or ill-advised control in remote localities, essentially the areas governed by traditional authorities. So I will tell the law, in other words, rested on segregation, a division of racial geography. As the century progressed, the effect of the laws unevenness shaped the illicit cannabis economies that developed in the wake of prohibition. Abantu ke ababegcine imihlaba zingathi zingozi ke baye baqiniseka uba bangabo ke abanobunganga ekuveliseni i-cannabis. Bakholuda ke namapolisa nabantu abamhlophe ababeona imihlaba yakwazi ke ngokuphinde ingeniswe apha kwiindawo ezi-urban nakwi-industrial spaces. And over time, many livelihoods came to depend on cannabis cultivation and trade, though so precarious. In 1937, we saw the introduction of the Weeds Act, which more comprehensively banned cannabis in South Africa. And this piece of legislation made landowners and occupants directly responsible for preventing the growth of cannabis on their property. Continuous public and political concern regarding cannabis use led to the passing of further legislation in 1971 and in 1992, all with the goal of restricting cannabis more comprehensively. State-sponsored cannabis eradication programs have existed in South Africa since the 1920s. By the 1980s, these programs took the form of aerial herbicides, distribution via helicopters, ngelo xesha ukuthi iseze kakuhle isife ngapha kodwa zicuba ke ngapha emampondweni ithi xa ize kakuhle sekufika ixesha lizavuna zifike ii-helicopters zidestroy and kusukela ngoko ke kwabakhona into ezininzi yokuvungama kwabantu bezama ukulwisana nale nto and siyawubulela umsebenzi wabantu abenza loo nto ukuyoma phaa kophila lo ke uzawuthetha apha namhlanje umsebenzi abawenzayo ukuze amapolisa nawo axelele uba yiyekeni le nto niyenzayo ayilunganga atsho ayiyeka amapolisa. So siyaqhubeka ke nokuthi mayilegalizwe even in the early 2000s zazikhona immobilized lobby groups zokuthi mayiyekwe le nto yokuthiwa intsango ekho mthethweni. Kuba khona nee-walks phaa ko-Cape Town zamarasta bayibhele esidlangalaleni bezama ukuthi yinto engekhoyo le and iinamba zakhula zama phaa ko-6,000 by 2017 ngabantu abeparticipate close marches including ukungeniswa kwe-Constitutional Court into ethi mayilegalizwe yawinwa lelo case. Ngo-2020 ke uPresident Cyril Ramaphosa kwisona uye wathi, I want to quote him, he wants to make sure that he industrialize cannabis, ingakumbi the hemp part of cannabis. And he said also he wants to engage on green revolution because agriculture is the only way to go. That's what the president said. And we are saying if that is the case, let's not only look at the hemp, because we don't come at hemp. This is when we have done hemp, I said, hence was going to clothing. So we're saying not only hemp president, including the marijuana, the dacha, this is looking at the Namakamashu, the Umia, so this is sitting now, my legalizer. Let's use this opportunity not only for private use, but to ensure that the industrialization of it, the medicinal part of it, and everything else that can be done by this plant. We want that opportunity. For the South Africa, umuntu ozopresenta apho Robert Silva bathi ke ngoku uzawuthini xa bekhetha only nemithi kule green for private use uthi imithi mayibe minye uba uhlala wedwa mayibe i-8 kwaye baninzi ngabe endaweni yoba imithi ibe minye ngase kube zi-hectares. We are here today understanding that abantu baseNtabankulu eFlagstaff eBusikisile Port St. John's and Ribode umenshina nje ezimbalwa idolophu apha kwi-eastern part of the Eastern Cape besoloko and basaqhubeka nokuyidifenda